Alright guys, welcome back to another weekly challenges live stream for September week 2 in Gran Turismo 7. Welcome. We're going to check out week 2's weeklies and see if they're any good. They're looking alright, not as good as last week. Last week was really good. If I remember correctly, I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, so at the end of this, we'll be giving it our rating. I believe last week's was a 4.5 or even a 5 out of 5 because it was pretty challenging on a couple of them, and it was fun. I believe 4 of the 5 races were good, so we're going to get into these and check them out. If you're new to the channel, PDX Sim here. We love Gran Turismo on this channel and the Dumb Guys Do Racing podcast. If you like Gran Turismo and sim racing, motorsports, check it out. Hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell, and you'll be notified every Monday a new episode drops. And this Monday we have McNaughty on with us. So McNaughty will be joining us on Monday's episode. We're going to be discussing Season 6 of NRL and everything up and coming. So yeah, you're not going to want to miss it, so check that out. Appreciate it, or get it wherever you get your podcast. Dumb Guys Do Racing, and we also are sponsoring Season 6. We are one of the sponsors. So yeah, go over to McNaughty's channel and subscribe, and stay tuned for all that if you're not already. And then we're going to jump into these races and check it out. Oh, merch is up, still 10% off, everybody. Go check it out. There's a few more designs up. There's a link in the description down below. I'll even put a link in the chat before I get going. Helps out the channel and the pod, so we appreciate it. Check out the merch.
meeting//PDX Sim Shop, fourthwall.com/.
There we go.
Merch link https://pdx-sim-shop.fourthwall.com/.
Alright, so there you go. Check out the merch. 10% off up until September 22nd. Appreciate it, guys. Alright, so we got the Sunday Cup, Japanese Clubman Cup special event, the GTR Cup, and then World Touring Car 900. So these are going to be, this one, I think the special event, I haven't driven this car yet. We're going to have to buy one and get it set up, because on these special events, man, those cars, they soup them up. They soup them up. They are not stock whatsoever. But yeah, GTR Cup will be fun, and the Japanese, and we got the Sunday Cup. So yeah, this should be alright. Tracks don't look too bad. Monza. Ellis Village. Reverse. WeatherTech Laguna, I love it. St. Croix, I'm down. And Spa, so not too bad on the tracks. And then complete 1, you get the 100. 3, you get the 200,000. And this week, you get all 5. Get that $500,000 credit ticket. So yeah, should be a decent one to run through. We'll see where it ranks at the end. So we're gonna jump in here, and we're doing 2 laps at Monza. Road car suggested 350 or less, so it's gonna be a slow. Ugh. Especially on that track, those straights, and you're going that goddamn slow. Oh, I do have one of these. I have to get a body kit on that thing. next we're going to do my Honda, my little Honda K car. So we're going to jump into that, knock out these 2 laps, and move on to the next one. Let me get the headset on, and I'll be right there. Oh, and I usually have been using my Club Sport Porsche wheel, my Fanatec setup that I got here. Switch. I haven't used my Formula V2 in a while, so I got my Formula wheel on here. So yeah, I haven't used it in a while. Just thought I'd share that. Alright, headset is on. It's going to be weird because with the headset on, I haven't used this wheel in so long, so the button layout's a little bit different. When I mean a little bit, I mean a lot compared to my Porsche wheel. I love my Porsche wheel, but I felt I just had to switch it up for a minute. Alright, here we go. First race. Gotta sit up. Yep. Here we go. Oh, trying to cut me off there? What are you doing? Clogging the road up. See ya. Just love hearing that turbo sound, just sucking in all that air. I love that I can do that. Look over and see the other car next to me. One of the perks of racing in VR. That the whole PDX Sim team is now VR. get this race done and move on. This is a race I had to get done anyway, so that was nice because I do these when I absolutely have to. When I been working on my event directory and eventually get that to 100%. But these will probably be some of the last races I do just because they're kind of boring. Alright, there we go. Race 1 in the books. And with these weekly challenges, as always, I'm trying my best to get first place in every single race. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. But there's the first one of this week's weekly challenges with the first race in the Sunday Cup. Give me my money. Give me my money. Here's my little red Honda. What do you guys think of the new Prelude? I'm kind of It's alright. I'm just glad the new Nismo Z is going to have a manual. That makes that car a lot better. Alright, Clement Cup 550. Looks like we've done this one before. And ooh. Take my BRZ. Okay, so it's not a hard 550, it's a suggested 550. What do we want to drive? I think I might. I haven't driven this Corolla very much. What's that 522? That shouldn't be too bad there. Actually might be pretty good there. I'm gonna put, gotta buy them. So yeah, I don't think probably have ever driven this car. Not much of a bump we get from that. Oh yeah, okay, that works. We're gonna do that 3 laps. Get the headset on. Oh man, look at the competition now. Huh. Uh-oh. I might get murdered. I get murdered. Gotta find where these buttons are again. Oh, this is a sweet cockpit. Ooh, oh. I forget about that. God damn. How you give any steering input whatsoever while braking? She just wants to break loose. Tight corner. I'm using the formula wheel right now. Feels pretty good. Just remembering where buttons are. But other than that, that's nice. Saw that, he turned it into me. Sorry, sir. That was my fault. Oh, come on. Didn't touch him. That thing's electric, though. Woo, mama. That was close. Alright, there we go. Corolla. It's alright, car. Okay, special event now. Laguna. Oh. This thing's like pretty souped up. Make sure I got the buffs. Yep. Okay. Got that. We're gonna do clutch kind of thing. Some headers to the intercooler. Need to get suspension. Stroker up too. And engine balance. So you're just balancing. And a port and polish. Why not? And then let's do a medium turb skis. Alright. So 4 laps at Laguna. In the old Honda N1RS. This is the special event. So I need to... Yeah, I need to bring this around 90. And then that's front wheel. Look at that. Shouldn't need much. Hopefully that suspension works out. It should. Yeah. Some good tunes. All right. Here we go. Yeah, the suspension, I gave it a quick suspension, little minor adjustments, and it feels good. Oh. Number 3 in the books. 2 more. This week is, it's alright. I mean, at least it's quick. 4 laps, look at that. Okay, got my 200 G-Dogs. Let's get out of here. Alright, GTR Cup, St. Croix, let's do it. 3 laps. You know, I've been driving the V-Tune, or the Z-Tune a lot. And the R34. Kind of debating the Nismo. Or the Premium Edition. But I'm thinking Nismo. Yeah, we're going Nismo. We gotta go Nismo. Okay. 700 or less. See if I have this tuned down at all. Nope. Okay. A few things I want to get before we go racing then. Yeah, because once we get done with these, we're going to check out the new trials, see what those are. Because I want the brakes. So that doesn't take us very much. Definitely an air intake. You know, just basic stuff. Exhaust. Let's do the intercooler. Heads. Clutch. Those don't give you very many gains. We gotta do the carbon. Oh, that take me down? And what is... Do stage 1. Oh, that won't put us over. Let's do... Oh? Do medium kit. Oh, we could do even that. Yes. No, we'll just do medium kit. Do medium kit. Oh, and suspension. I think that's it. So it's 700 or less, and we're sitting at 695. Yeah, see, this is set up pretty good. Alright, let's see what we got here. This is a race I've done in the past, just on single player mode. Alright, this will be fun. I like these. Alright. R35 is Nismo. Alright, let's see what we can do. nice R34 right there in that red. Woo! She looked good. Coming up to the bridge. Oh shit. Way too late. keep fucking up now. Alright, there's another one. Alright, we got one more race for the weeklies. Been able to get first place in every single one of these so far. So hit the like and subscribe for that. Check out the merch link in the chat. 10% off up until the 22nd of September. And also, McNaughty will be joining the Dumb Guys Do Racing podcast this Monday. So you're not going to want to miss that. Enjoy this replay really quick. I gotta take a quick break. Alright, the last race. We're heading to Spa. The World Touring Car 900. And I'm going to use this guy. 10 laps, fuel is 8 and 8. Okay, so we're gonna have to pit. I'm gonna go on the softs and just see. Have I done this one? Oh yeah, I've gotten first on this before, okay. So 8 and 8. And I want to say I have to do the mediums. Try not to stop. Thanks. Alright guys, last race of the weeklies. Let's get into this. One of my favorite tracks. One of my favorite cars to drive right here. using the Formula wheel for this. Feels so good. Porsche wheel's great all around, no matter what, but this does feel nice holding this wheel. Makes me want to get that new Porsche VGT wheel even more. But I'm waiting for those V4s, the active pedal. Todd got confirmation at Sim Racing Expo. Talking to someone at Corsair, pretty much confirmed it. Talked about it on the pod. So yeah, excited for that. Oh, damn, he just tagged that guy. Damn, I lost so much time through that. What's happening? Okay. Dude, how are you braking so late in the wet? It's pouring. It is. It's pouring. I hit the curb. I got myself full wets on. borderline wets right now. Alright, final lap. Starting now. Oh, almost had a tragedy. Error of tragedy. Oh, it's wet. It's wet. This is challenging with the weather. It's fun. Oh, he's coming in. Oh. Sorry, pal. Not today. Oh yeah, we're wets right now. It's rained so much. We're on those inters. We just gotta survive this last lap. Just be careful. Well, the rain's moving out. Ooh, he tried hard on that one. Oh, was able to hold out for the win. So we were able to get first place on every race this week, so that's good. This last race is fun at Spa, 10 laps, 8 and 8 with the fuel and the tires. And the weather came in. I didn't even think of that going into the race. And then luckily when I was planning on pitting, the rain came, so keep an eye on that because you may get weather, you may not. Alright, there's the 500,000 credits right there. Group 2 GTR, love that car. So yeah, that was fun. Definitely.
This one was dry for me. Did a 3-stop and still had 35 secs lead at the end.
Wow.
I wish I had rain.
Yeah, the rain was cool. Made it challenging, that's for sure. Because I almost didn't get first place. You had to be careful. You had to be careful. This week is definitely not as good as last week, that's for sure. I'm gonna give it 3.75 out of 5 because the last one's so good. And the GTR one's okay. It was a fun track. The GTR is fun. But the rest of them were just okay. So yeah, that's going to be my rating for this week's weekly challenges. 3.75 out of 5. Leave yours down below what you thought of this week's. Let's go see how much I got.
4 out of 5 for me.
Okay. I like it. Okay, so we got our 1,000,000 for that. Let's check out the new week or the time trials. So that's still going. I gotta work on that. Oh shit. Okay. Monza no chicane. Damn, we're stacked with time trials right now. 4 days left on that. 11
Damn,
on
I
these.
forgot to do the Vet Laguna.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this. Let's just give this one a shot real quick. Okay, so group 3 was, what are people rocking? Nice. So that's probably what I was gonna pick, is the Ferrari. You're at Monza. So RCF, GTR. Ooh, the BRZ, really? I like that car too. On softs, but we're going in our Ferrari. Let's see what we can do with this. Let's see what we can do.
BRZ, you gross.
I kind of, when I had to drive it at Big Willow, I ended up liking that car. Wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. We're gonna follow the BRZ. Trying to find another Ferrari I can follow. Oh, the RC's an M6. Ooh. Evo. Audi Evo. Huracan.
I cannot drive it. Bad vision and not enjoyable to drive.
Oh, there's a Ferrari, but didn't share there. That's a 58.4. Follow this M6.
Ferrari or M6 for me here.
Yep. See what I can do in the Ferrari. Oh, damn it. Oh, there's no brake balance. Okay. Alright. Here we go.
Going to be on for a bit still? Taking a medication break and might hop on.
Copy that. So did all the weeklies. I gotta do dinner. I don't know what time it is. I'll be doing dinner soon. Oh no. Oh no. Ah, death. Ugh. Yeah, because I'll probably do a couple. Let me see what time it is.
10 to 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for a little bit. And then I'm going to do some din-dins. And then I think tonight when everyone gets in bed, I'm going to do some dailies because I want to do some more of those dailies. Alright, concentrate. Alright, last lap. Let's do this. Alright guys, that's a fun time challenge. I'll have to chip away at that. Suzuka in the Group 3s is always a good time on the soft tires. Got gold at least. Got gold. So that's good. But yeah, I think I could chip away at that even more. Okay, so yeah, that time trial's a fun one. Let's see what else. I gotta chip away also at the Honda one. Do some more of that. I gotta do a Monza one. I don't really care about this one. I mean, it's free money, but eh. So Stoked got a gold on that one. These are hard. Usually I'm in the silver area. But I can get gold if I really chip away at it, and I think this one I can get even faster. At least in the 59s. So alright guys, thanks for joining me for this week's weekly challenges and checking those out. They were okay. Last week was better. Still worth getting the free money because it was some easy money for sure this week. Easy money. So do that. Hit the like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Check out the Dumb Guys Do Racing podcast. Get it wherever you get your podcasts, or hit the like and subscribe and notification bell, and you'll be notified every Monday a new episode drops. And this Monday's episode, McNaughty is going to be joining us. We'll be talking season 6 of NRL starting this fall. We are one of the sponsors, the Dumb Guys Do Racing. So check that over on McNaughty's channel. Hit the like and subscribe over there as well. It's got some great league racing, amazing league racing at that. So check that out. And the merch is open, up and running. Dropped a few more new designs. Check those out. One up for the Halloween season. That's pretty fun. Everything is 10% off. So check that out up until September 22nd. You're not going to want to miss the sale, because then when it's gone, it probably won't be back for a little bit until the holiday season. So yeah, get it while it's 10% off. And yeah, I think other than that, you guys have a good one. And maybe I'll see you later tonight for some of those dailies at Laguna. I haven't got to do many of that for this week. It's a decent race. So yeah, and it's at Laguna. You got to do it. So hopefully I'll jump on and do some of those. All right, guys, we will see you next time.